there's a protection and that I think is innate. I don't think that's sexist. Do you?
No. I do like, you're familiar with Brene Brown?
Yes.
Yes. I like what she says about marriage. She says, anybody who tells you it's 50-50, that's a bunch of crock. It's not 50-50. She says it's each one giving their all. And she said the way my husband and I look at it is I might come home and say, I'm running on 20% right now. And he'll say, I'll make up the 80%. Or he may come home and say, I've really only got 40%. Whatever. I've had a rough day. And she'll say, I'll kick in that 60%. So it's like this give and take where you're saying, when you don't have as much to offer, let me make up the difference. So it's not, are we giving 50-50 here? But how can I help make up what we need? And of course, you need both people to be givers. Because if you have a giver and a taker, that's going to be a really bad marriage. But if you have two givers, if you have two takers, divorce right there.
I believe whoever watch this show today will get a lot of safe marriage, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is remarkable.
Because we feel like we don't know anything.
But you say it's remarkable, and I say thank you. But I also look and I go, we feel pretty common.
Yeah.
We don't feel like. I look and I go. We get up, we take a shower, we put clothes on, we go. You go to work. You got your checkbook. It's like, this isn't rocket science.
No.
But what scares me, and that scares me, what makes me sad sometimes is people go, your marriage is just, like, I've never seen a marriage like yours. And I'm thinking, there should be thousands of marriages like ours, because we don't bring that much. We just love each other and are kind to each other. My mother, at my reception.
Mm-hmm.
They were giving advice around the table. And my mom, people give all this advice about things. And she said, be nice to each other. I'm like, being nice to each other.
Like, be kind.
Be kind. I thought, well, that's pretty great, Mom. Probably the best advice of the dinner. Just kindness is underrated. Just speaking kindly to each other. Just not attacking when you're angry. Just being kind when the other person needs kindness. It's just, there's so much. I fight a lot of battles as a pastor. I have a lot of pain that my life is involved in. And I can enter into people's hurt and pain and divorce. And I can do that because I have a refuge. But if I didn't have a refuge, this is a refuge, a safe place. I don't know that I could be a good pastor. I don't know I could care for people, because I'd come home and more conflict.
Well, today I'm become a better person, but I'm awful. I'm fighting a lot in my whole life, and I kind of carry my mother's energy because how my mother treating me. And my village, I don't think people even care. I feel like a numb. And teacher beat up me. And when after 18-year-old, I go to Beijing, I don't know, kind of figure out, in a very hard way. And of course, we want to find the love, but we don't know what love. But
right.
We put ourselves in dangers. And then you're young and beautiful, and somebody take advantage of you, and I got pregnant. Who touch you? That's your man. That's my village. But the guy, they don't want a baby, so go take out the baby. And I do that. I don't feel bad because I think I'm a numb too, just
Sure.
young and stupid. I wake up slowly. Then after that, I feel, okay, this probably not. And just by pain, learn things by feel painful. But I have 4 broken baby, and but I'm here. I still grow very slow, but carry a lot of pain. In American, a lot of church think woman should if you're pregnant, that's your possibility to take care of the baby. And
You want to start on that? Or should
what
I?
are my questions? Yes.
You've asked a very good, deep question. And I think it starts with, who made us. And I think when we think of God who created us, everybody has value because he created us. So I shouldn't treat you wrongly or you. We've all got value. We were made in his image, the Bible says. So somebody who bears God's image, he values us deeply. So when I think of unborn lives, they're also very valuable to God. The situations people find themselves in is the difficult thing, okay? So I don't think it's as simple as just saying, that's wrong, you shouldn't have done that. But what does God says every life is valuable. So in my values, it's my unborn child is valuable, even if I didn't plan it, even if it came about by means I don't. That's my personal conviction because of what I understand.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to.
But in the same process, I think we start with great love and compassion for the situation the woman's in. That women find themselves with what they sense as no options.
Right.
They didn't want the baby.
Helpless.
So there's. When I look at Jesus, his response to people, he always started with loving the person and caring for the person and understanding
Where they came
from. Having said that, I do believe that God, I mean, what she said is that made in God's image, that every child, every unborn child is valuable to God. So that's why I would be for life from conception to natural death. We have a 96-year-old in our home, Janet's mom, and she's very limited physically. She had a stroke, her eyesight, her hearing. She's a very limited person, but she's still very valuable. She's still made in God's image.
Of course.
And so we care for her, and there'd be those, I think, in this world that would say, she's worthless now. She can't do anything. I go, no. She's made in God's image. She's Janet's mother. She has great value. We try to show her that every day. And I would take that from conception as well, that God cares for every child, even the unborn. And that's why we would be for life without the criticism, the judgment for people who have chosen differently. That people choose with the knowledge they have. And when I think one of the things I love best about God is the redemption. All of us are broken. It's not just healthy families and unhealthy families.
Now I look back myself, if this go back a long time ago, if my 19 year, I think the first one, 19 years old, in that time I'm not worthy because I grow up with like worthy and just like
That was your
all the
message.
bad words and like that. When if I have the baby where I am, and if today go back to when I'm 19, what I'm going to choose, I think I choose the same thing.
Very difficult situation.
I think a woman have right to decide. What do you think? Or you think we should?
It's a more complicated question, but I would also say, I have a friend who works in this ministry, and the question is, what is that? And if what's inside a woman is a human life, then we have to ask the question, what right does that child have? If it, and so those are
If it's
tender.
a tumor or a tissue, absolutely, the person has
If
a
not
right
healthy,
over.
if not healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
But if it's another life, where are the rights of that life? And who are we to decide I'm going to take that life?
Okay, so here another question. If I'm going to have this baby, and then where my life is.
So the question, and I think that's a really good question, because I think one of the things that I'd love to see in our government and in our churches is many, many more or greater care. If a woman decides, I'm going to have that child, how can they do that?
Yeah, how?
Like in our church, it didn't quite work out, but we had a house right across the parking lot, And we had a ministry there that was a place for women in crises. So if a woman became pregnant and wanted to keep the child, but didn't have
Or
any...
wanted to give the child up for adoption, but
Which is-
needed to carry it to term.
this
Not all of
they
them
could
kept
move
their
into this
babies.
home, and it was a home for unwed mothers. And we had a woman living in a car with her child, and she was pregnant, moved into the home. And I think we need to give many options like that to say, there are options.
They have options.
You have
yeah.
options, and there is a long line of people who want to adopt. And so I go, well, is there a way to help make that possible so that women go, at least they know there is an option for me. So
That's very important to me. Thank you.
I hope that's okay, because I know you've probably suffered a lot in that.
And just so you know, we have numerous ladies in our church that have had abortions. I have friends who have had abortions, and today they would say, I'm sorry I did that, but God forgives that. And there's no judgment. There's no very difficult situations you find yourself in when women are making these choices. So, and I don't think we give enough options. We don't help enough for women.
And what I do know is that I just look at all of us people, I go, all of us are broken. All of us need healing. We all need redemption.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter, there's not different categories of people. I mean, that's part of my whole faith, is that Jesus came to heal, forgive, and save. And it doesn't matter. You say, what about this? It doesn't matter.
Okay.
We're all in the same boat.
That was a beautiful conversation. I think it was very beautiful, and I think that's beautiful you have a home, because I think it's true, a lot of people don't know there is options,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I just supporting people,
Yeah.
holding
Right.
space, allowing
Yeah.
people space, like that's very beautiful.
Can we talk about another heavy stuff?
Well, you threw it out there, let's do it.
Yeah, broken family have different issues. What do you think about same-sex marriage?
Yep.
You're going for all the hot topics, aren't you?
Yeah. What do you guys think about that as a Christian and a pastor?
So as a church, not even as a church, me, I go back to what is God's plan for our lives? And I believe that God has a plan. You spoke a little bit about that even before the show, that you felt a calling. I don't know exactly how you felt that, but I'd say it's exciting, because I think there's a calling on all of our lives. You're amazing with the many things you do. You're like, the more I find out about you, you're involved in all these different areas of life, and you do them well. Yeah. And there's a calling on our lives. And so I look back and say, how did God design me? And when I look to the Bible, and I look and I go, how did God design? And what I see is that God created man and woman, and that his perfect plan is for one man to be married to one woman for life. Now, that doesn't always happen that way. But I think that is the plan that God, his perfect plan. But he works with us in our humanity. So I don't believe it's God's plan in homosexuality. I don't think that's God's perfect plan. But I know that you could be listening here today going, he's homophobic. I go, I'm not afraid of anything. So homophobic sounds like I'm going to be afraid of gays. I would say not at all. I have friends who are gay. I have family who are gay. And what Jesus does is he loves first. So I'm called to love people whatever they choose to do. I think marriage is God's plan. But people live together. I go, I'm not the judge. I'm not the one, that's not my call at all. We're called to love people. And I think if we love people, then we let God deal with patching people up and taking people down the road. He's not, I think we make too much of trying to control the world around us.
But how about your church? Your church welcome everybody?
Yes, I had a gay couple that contacted me, James and William. Maybe they're listening today. And so I get this email from James and William. They saying, we're married, we're two guys. Will we be welcome at your church? I said, absolutely. Please come. And I said, my name's Pastor Kent. Come find me. I got a big hug for you. They never came. He wrote back and said, well, let me be a little more clear. Would we be welcome to be...
We're looking to plug in and work in the church as
And be
volunteers. Could we be
leadership
leaders
in
of a
your
life
church.
group or lead Bible studies, things like that?
Would we be able to move into leadership in your church? And I said,
Well, maybe they worry you're going to change him. You're going to want to change him. Maybe they're scared to come to you, right?
yeah, and I just go, that's not my job to change people.
I like that.
And so, although I said you'd be more than welcome, and I said not everybody in the church believes the same.
Well, because if two guys come to your church, and what other people think about your church, you don't afraid that?
That's their problem. I'd say if they come to my church, I would welcome them with a big hug. We would welcome in the church. I'll give you a different example. We had a woman come to church, young lady, about 8 months pregnant, very pregnant, and she walks in. And she wasn't married. And I thought, okay, it's a couple. They're having sex outside of marriage. She's pregnant, and she's coming to church. How will my church respond to this woman who's had sex outside of marriage? The women of the church gathered around her, and they were giggling and laughing, and they said, could we throw you a baby shower? And they planned to do a party for her. And she was just so welcomed into the church. And I thought, I like these ladies. They're not judging her going, you've been sleeping with somebody outside of marriage. They just loved her. And she had her baby. She ended up marrying the guy. They had another couple. They have another kid. They're good friends of ours. I thought, I think Jesus would have been pleased with that the women weren't like, our job is to love on people, and then we let the Lord work on people, and when there's sin, repent of sin. But that's not, if my job is to try to control everybody and make everybody live according to my standards, I'll be very tired. I'll just, that's not my job.
That's a very unique perspective. I don't see that a lot in your line of, in your professions. So how did you come to that? Because I see a lot of like the judgment, a lot of the like...
There might be less of that than you think.
Okay.
But it's there. It's not absent. You get people, part of the type of church we're in. But I think my mother was an amazing person that she just loved people, and she loved broken people. And she had the strangest friends. She'd be on the phone for hours, and she'd have this alcoholic friend who's hallucinating, and these drug people downtown. And she's talking to them, and they come by the house, and they're staying, and she'd pick up hitchhikers. I remember one time she picked up these two hitchhikers in a rainstorm, and they're big guys. And
Had a dog.
Had a dog, and they're big bearded, and she said, oh, get in the car. And they get in the car, and she looks in the rearview mirror, and her first comment was, you're not going to hurt me, are you? And they're like, oh, no, we're not going to hurt you.
She said, because God told me to pick you up.
And she starts telling them about Jesus, and they're like, oh, yeah, whatever, lady, I think they wanted to get back out in the rain, But she just, our home was Grand Central. We had people in our home all the time. And I think of one of the family member who was homosexual, just loved my mother. And I said, Mom, do you ever try to change him? She goes, that's not my job. I love him.
Wow.
How he lives. She goes, God will take care of that, but he's family, and I love this guy. And she, he loved my mama because you can smell it. I can smell if someone's going, if they're judging you or condemning. You can, it takes about a minute, and you go, this person's condemning me or critical.
Absolutely.
Or somebody who just loves us and accepts us. So probably a lot of that. And my dad wasn't that kind. He was more just not judgmental, but he just wasn't that outgoing.
I come here 17 years now. Democrat and Republic, they never feel friend anymore. My friend, family, all separate. They can't even talk this anymore.
你看这